Hello, guys. So, you are all welcome in this online webinar series, part 2, on Smile Triorigin Food Consciousness and the 6 key food consciousness. And I am Dr. Pavan Madhavan. I am here with you to discuss this wonderful topic of lecture number 2, which is called as the dis- let us discuss this topic now. Smile Triad in Food Consciousness. I proved to you in the last seminar that Triorigin is the fundamental order which is governing this universe, and that I proved to you people that uh, how Creator wished to create this wonderful world called as Smile Triorigin world. uh, I proved it at every life situation. The fundamental order which is governing this universe is Triorigin, and then I showed you about four therapies, four different kinds of therapies which actually go on this world. Those are the Newto was energy healing, and the saints and the shamanism. Hetero was modern medicine, very good for acute cases. In chronic cases, very good for traditional medicines like homeopathy, Ayurveda, Unani, Siddha, but not recommended in acute conditions. And finally, the rise of the Honori medicine, which is the fundamental medicine which will govern this universe in the future. And because it can deal with acute cases very nicely, it can deal with uh, chronic cases. In acute cases, correspondence systems works like a miracle. In chronic cases, the energy systems governed by meridians, chakras in the form of 6 key, 8 key acupuncture, and the Triorigin acupuncture governs this universe. So then we have Tai Chi and gymnast and twist therapy, which are the movements which give a service to the body. So it is only included in the Honori medicine. And then we have meditation called a smile meditation, which is the highest level of meditation included in the Honori medicine. So all these things make Honori medicine the neutral medicine, the future of this world. And we all need to work on here. So we move to the topic of the discovery of the smile triorigin food consciousness. So after you have learned that the triorigin theory, and all of you know that the basic model of the triorigin theory is the triorigin model of the self surroundings given by Professor Park. As per Professor Park, right now in this space of Earth, we have a model of self surroundings, which is called as the self, which is no, which is means Dr. Pavan, who is the self in my case, or maybe you in your case, yourself or myself, who are Newto in this world, are surrounded by a line, a timeline called as time triorigin, hay line. We are moving on a line which is continuously working, right? So Uh, we are continuously working. We are walking on a line, on a single line, which is a line. Like Pawan is walking always on a line. This line is timeline and it cannot return back. It cannot return back. So this line Pawan is walking, and Pawan is walking on a space of, on this line when he's walking, he's surrounded by a plane, a space of his room right now, which is Ho, space Triorigin, Ho. And while in this space and on this timeline, Pawan is doing his movement. Pawan is doing his self-movement, which is called a self-movement Triorigin, right? So you are clear how we are surrounded by time, space, and the movement. We are doing movement on the Dr. Pawan or you. Dr. Pawan is doing movement on the timeline in a space, right? So Dr. Pawan is doing a movement on a timeline in a space. So this is the Triorigin model of self-surroundings, right, guys? So we move downwards now. Let us move downwards. The model of self-surroundings. The model of self-surroundings is the most fundamental and basic model of Triorigin theory. With the guidance of Professor Park Jae-woo, the people who are initiated into the Triorigin theory have mastered time Triorigin. They have mastered the time Triorigin, which is the subjective, objective, and seasonal Triorigin chronoacupuncture. So we are all masters of the time acupuncture. Many of our Sojok therapists are right now doing some of the great time acupunctures. So time Triorigin has been mastered by people in the form of subjective, objective, and the seasonal Triorigin chronoacupuncture. Space Triorigin mastery was given to us by Professor Park Jae-woo in the form of Triorigin Feng Shui and direction therapy, which is one of the most fundamental and powerful therapies existing right now in the world. Then movement Triorigin was also given by Professor Park Jae-woo in the form of Smile Tai Chi, Samwon Gong, Smile Gymnast, Smile Yoga, etc. So all these are very powerful therapies and very powerful ways of servicing the body, and Professor dealt them in a very detailed way. And then we have self-Triorigin in the form of Triorigin body acupuncture treatment, mind acupuncture treatment, life acupuncture treatment, and Triorigin soul acupuncture treatment. So as we all know, this self-Triorigin is again, the self-Triorigin is again divided into 4 parts, which is treated by Triorigin acupuncture. Like mind becomes hetero, so you use mind as a joint, this joint, to treat mind disease like emotions, reasons, intentions, and the spirits. Then you use body acupuncture. Body acupuncture is placed here, and this is the functional systems, and this is the functional systems. This is functional systems, and this is the layer system. This one is structure system, and this is correspondence system. So this is again dealt by Professor Park Jae-woo, very detailed. Then we have life acupuncture. In the life acupuncture, you have personal life, You have family life, you have social life, and you have spiritual life, and all these lives issues can be dealt very easily by this acupuncture. And then you have soul here. Very, very difficult cases, life-threatening cases can be treated from here. Right. So this is the 4 joints, how to treat here: mind, here body, here life, and here is the soul. So this is the model. This is hetero is mind, body is homo, right? Hetero is mind, left hand, hetero is mind, right hand, this is body, then right hand upper joint is life, and left hand lower joint is soul. From here you can learn from in the ISA courses, many of the ISA courses, these topics have been taken, and you can learn them from any of a good Sujok therapist. So the thing is that already great work finished by him. Our job is to continue his work. One question has to be answered. One question has to be answered. One question has to be answered. The question is, although we have evolved, so high and understood the disease to a deeper extent, but still one question remains to be answered. That is, although development and progress is seen in all areas of the society and countries, but modern medicine also has evolved so much. All the countries and societies have evolved so much. Sujok has evolved so much. Still, the truth is, the prevalence of various diseases in this world is increasing exponentially, is it not? Every year, number of cases of hypertension doubles. The death rate due to cardiovascular disease doubles. The death rate due to diabetes is doubling, tripling every year. So although all of our modalities have evolved so high, we are not able to decrease the disease prevalence. Which means we have moved from Pentium 1 to Windows 10. We have moved from bullock cars to Mercedes. We have moved from muddy roads to the bridges. Our bridges, big bridges have been made. From landline phones, we have evolved to iPhone. And from 2D pictures, we have evolved to 5Ds. But then, even then, why the hell disease prevalence is not decreasing? While surfing on the internet, I came across a term called as blue zones of the world. Blue zones are those 7 civilizations in the world where people usually live for more than 120 years, and their disease prevalence is almost nil. The disease prevalence is almost nil. So, what are these blue zones? These 7 civilizations are shown in the world map below. These are those 7 civilizations in the world where people live for more than 120 years. What are those 7 civilizations? Let's look at them. These 7 civilizations are Villacambia in the Ecuador, Campo di Mili in the Italy, Georgia in the Abkhazia, Simi in the Greece, Hunza in the Pakistan-occupied Kashmir. This place have been visited by me. Here all people live more than 120 years. The average lifespan is around 130, 140. You just put on the internet Hunza Valley and their lifespan. You will come to know that these people live more than around 140 years. And at the age of 100, nobody says they are old people. They look young at the age of 100. In Burma, Burma is the civilization of China, which lived more than 120 years. And Okinawa in the Japan, these people live more than 130 years. So all these blue zones in the world, I was amazed that there is no sujok there. There is no smile meditation there. But still, I mean, smile must be there because smile is the essence of everything. That's why they must be living, but they must be following smile in any way. But sujok they don't have. And even then, they live for more than 120 years. My God. In this civilization, disease prevalence is almost nil, which means they are disease-free. The reason behind this is their lifestyle, out of which most striking part is their diet. Because Triorigin is the most fundamental science, so it should apply on this area also. Diet should also be included in our Triorigin. When I studied the diet of these people of the blue zones in detail, I realized that this is not just about food eating, but it is the most powerful and fundamental healing therapy available to the mankind, that is food. Food is the most powerful and most fundamental therapy available to the mankind. Food. My God. Because eating good food not only heals the diseases, but it prevents them from occurring also. That is, eating healthy diet will decrease the prevalence of disease in this world. But how it fits into our current scenario of Triorigin science? We need to solve this issue because we have the most fundamental science with us, the theory of Triorigin. It is a common saying since ancient times that God is present in every particle around us. Professor gave us the most fundamental model of Triorigin, the model of self-surroundings, where self is moving on a line of time, the timeline in a space whole. This model I have proved to you just 5 minutes ago. But if we take this model very deeply, we realize that we are not only surrounded by time and space, but God is also present in our surroundings as zero Newton. If we try to study the details of this zero Newton, that is Him surrounding us, then we realize that He is surrounding us in the form of nature around us. So this zero Newton, the God is also present in this model of Triorigin. Triorigin model of self-surroundings. Pawan is moving on the timeline, on a space, and he's moving on this. And he is also, all of us, including me, are also surrounded by the God Most High of the universe, Him, in the form of nature around us. You know how the God is surrounding all of us? Can you imagine that? God is directly present around us as nature, in the form of melodious sounds created by many birds and water flowing and some birds singing, melodious sounds for the ears to listen, beautiful sights of sunset, sunrise, beautiful sea, beautiful sky for the eyes to see. Soothing aromas of flowers, of roses, of leaves, of oils, soothing aromas for the nose to smell are around us in the form of nature. And God has created the most beautiful of its creation, the tasty foods for the mouth to taste. And we all love foods, right? So the thing is, God is present around us everywhere in the form of nature. Nature has created beautiful sights for the eyes to see, soothing aromas for the nose to smell, melodious sounds for the ears to listen, tasty foods for the mouth to taste. Whenever we go to a sea beach and see a beautiful sight of sunset, sunrise, we feel calmness and smile, and we can directly feel God, Him. If we smell a blossoming rose, then suddenly smile and peace comes, and we can feel Him. If we listen to the melodious sounds of a parrot or a river flowing, we start smiling and feel Him. And we love food. If food is very tasty as well as healthy, our body as well as soul starts smiling like this because we start experiencing Him. Neutro should contain all. If we see beautiful fruits or vegetables in a garden, we can feel, we know how to prove that food, out of all these things, food is neutral. We need to prove it because neutral should contain all. So this foods part should contain beautiful sights, sounds, and aromas. Now we are going to prove that the foods are neutral in the nature. So neutral should contain all. If we just see beautiful fruits or vegetables in a garden, we can feel the taste. If somebody is talking about some tasty food, what he ate today, so if somebody talks that I ate some All microorganisms have the instinct to destroy everything which comes in contact with them. So whatever comes in contact with the microorganisms, they destroy it. That is, they make it everything. They have an instinct of making everything zero. For example, a virus from the zero worlds appears in this environment. Like, for example, in North India, where I live, the dengue virus is the most deadly virus. It appears from the zero world and destroys everything, whoever comes in contact with it. This is called a Sansuino Hardo, the killing instinct, to make everything zero, the neutro instinct. Same is the instinct of bacteria, fungi, and parasites. So all the microorganisms become neutro, no. On the basis of level of consciousness also, all the microorganisms are neutro. Animals at the level of their consciousness. Animals are governed by their instinct to sleep, eat, and reproduce. They have consciousness of just taking from the nature. They never help others or give something to the nature because they are selfish. They don't have much evolved consciousness. They keep wandering from here and there and ready to create chaos everywhere. So animals carry hetero consciousness. Creator gave the human beings very high level of consciousness to be in harmony with the nature. So let's study human beings at the level of their consciousness. So what do you think? Human beings are neutral or homo? Actually, Creator made the God wanted them to be neutral, but actually what happened? Let's study human beings' consciousness now. Creator gave the human beings very high level of consciousness to be in harmony with the nature. He gave them ability to interact with the nature, that is to enjoy the gifts of the nature and help the nature maintain its glory. But instead, human beings became homo. They started destroying the nature. They took advantages of its gift, but never returned anything to it. The result is that all of us are in the era of where nature has been polluted in all aspects by human beings. That is air pollution, noise pollution, water pollution, soil pollution, ozone depletion, extinction of animal and plant species, global warming, population overcrowding, etc. So human beings have become homo in terms of consciousness. If we grow a plant in our house, now human beings are, it is clear that at the level of consciousness, human beings have become homo. Let's study plants at the level of their consciousness. If we grow a plant in our house, it will give us flowers to see, fruits and vegetables to eat, oxygen to breathe, and wood to build. So plant will give us flowers to see, fruits and vegetables to eat. It will give us oxygen to breathe. Plants will provide wood for us to build houses, but will never demand anything in return. This is what is the highest level of consciousness. His smiling, neutral consciousness. To serve his sons and daughters with love and compassion. With love and compassion. So plants have neutral consciousness. Plants have neutral consciousness. Human beings have destroyed the nature. That is due to their pollution. Airborne diseases are increasing. That is COPD, asthma, allergies, etc. Water pollution is causing so many diseases. Noise pollution is causing so much distress in lives of people. Eyes are seeing only depressing sights for the mass murders, rape, abuse, etc. Instead of soothing aromas of flowers, bad smelling areas are increasing due to overcrowding of the people. And the most important, we are not eating the natural food which nature created for us to live healthy lives. Rather, we are eating foods which are refined, full of preservatives, made by companies for earning profit. About 80% of the world is eating meat, which involves killing of the animals, and dairy products, which involves torturing the pregnant cows. This has led to the development of smile Triorigin food consciousness because it takes the position neutral in the Triorigin model of nature surrounding us. So by influencing this, we can change all types of pollutions also. So what I was actually telling you was the model of uh, the model of Triorigin model of living organisms on the basis of the level of consciousness. I made it clear that microorganisms want to destroy everything, so they are neutral. Animals wander here and there without any reason to create chaos, though, so they are hetero. Human being, although it was made neutral, but it rather took advantage of the nature and only destroyed it, and never, and took, human being only took from the nature. Things took from the nature, but never gave in return anything to the nature. So human beings at the level of their consciousness are right now neutral, not homo. Human beings are homo at the level of their consciousness right now. And plants at the level of consciousness, they always give. They are always giving to us. They are always giving not to us only, they are giving to the world. And they never take in return in anything. They never take anything in return. So which means plants become neutral in their consciousness. And the Triorigin human beings have destroyed the nature. Water pollution, noise pollution, all the things have come, and food has been affected the most. And because food has taken the position neutral in the Triorigin model consciousness of nature surrounding us. So if we influence food somehow, if we change food, if we start eating natural food, we will be decreasing pollutions, all the pollutions. This I will prove to you in my next lectures, that by just by eating the food according to Triorigin food consciousness, you can decrease air pollution, noise pollution, water pollution, all the pollutions. You can improve the smells around us. You can improve the sights around us. Everything will improve if you just start eating food with Triorigin food consciousness. How? And your all the disease will also go away. I will prove to you people in the next coming lecture. So this has led to the development of smile Triorigin food consciousness, because it takes the position neutral in the Triorigin model of nature surrounding us. So just by influencing this, we can change all types of pollution also. Smile Triorigin food consciousness. Now let us look at the Triorigin model of 4 keys received by man. Human being receives 4 kind of keys from the nature in order to sustain their existence. These 4 keys are also governed by Triorigin model, the most fundamental model of this universe. Sunlight is the most fundamental resource of key, which we receive from our God, the sun, which is must for the existence of the earth and its living species. So sunlight becomes neutral. Air contains oxygen key, which nourishes our cells. Also, when we breathe air, we can inhale the metaphysical energy called as prana. Prana via activation of the diaphragm meridian and core meridians, Ingla, Pingla, and Sushumna nadis supply bioenergy in the body. We know metaphysical M particles are hetero. Also, we can observe a lot of movement and turbulence in the air movement most of the times. So air key becomes hetero. The water, the aqua key becomes homo. Why? Because water mainly moves only on the land. Anything we put in water gets ground into it. Water also contains air key inside it, that is H2O. Homo must contain hetero inside it. So water contains air key inside it. Also water contains sunlight also inside, because all the sun rays fall from the top into all the rivers and the seas, and those sun rays actually sustain the existence of fish and aquatic animals. And also sun gives water a little vitamin D also. So Water contains sunlight and the air power also inside it. So the aqua key becomes homo. Now the food key. Food key is the most important for human beings. Both aqua key and air key are received by human beings because they need it for their survival. But food is not just for survival. We don't love air, we don't love water, but we love food. There is enormous diversity of food. There is enormous diversity of foods available on the earth. Only neutral force can express such varieties in colors. Neutral contains neutro, hetero, and homo inside it. All plants need sunlight, right? So food only grows when it receives sunlight. When the sunlight falls on the plants, only then food is made. So food contains sun in them. Food also contains water in them because neutral must contain all the three. And food can only be made by plants if they receive oxygen from the environment. So all the plants need sunlight, water, and air to produce cereals, vegetables, fruits, and lentils. So food key contains air key, water key, and sun key in it. So food key becomes neutral. So in this Triorigin model, if you look at it, Triorigin model of 4 keys received by man. Sunshine becomes neutral, prana key becomes, the air key becomes hetero, aqua key becomes homo, and the food key, showing the maximum diversity around it, becomes neutral. Wow. Now, we need to focus on food key because only this component of vital energies has been drastically shaken by changing human habits and industrialization, that we are not at all eating natural food. We are eating either non-veg, which is a food obtained by destroying other species, with killing instinct, or we are eating food full of preservatives, which is homo food. So, because all the energies of sites, all the different pollutions happen because ultimately most of the energy human beings spend in making food. So they are destroying the mother nature because of wrong eating food habits, and we just need to focus on the food key now because it takes the position neutral in the Triorigin model. And if we change just this key, because why? Because if you see here, food key is the neutral position. So if you just improve this key, which has been received by man, you will improve aqua key, you will improve air key, you will improve sun key. So how to improve this key is our topic. And we need to focus on the food key because only this component takes the position neutral. It is the vital component, and it has been drastically shaken by changing human habits and industrialization. To attain more deeper insight, we must study Triorigin model of various kinds of food available to the mankind, which means we need to study Triorigin food consciousness, smile Triorigin food consciousness, which will be dealt in the coming lecture again in detail. And this will be the model. This is the fundamental model of smile Triorigin food consciousness. Triorigin model of different types of food. Food coming from the zero world becomes neutral. Food which is extorted from other species with killing spirit with hetero, or you can say what spirit? Killing spirit. Killing spirit. So food which is extorted from other species with killing spirit becomes hetero. The food artificially made with homo spirit for earning profit will become homo, and the food growing in the nature under God's spirit, his spirit, will become neutral. So if you just focus on taking these two foods more and more, you will become disease free, you will live long, your age will be more than 140 years, and all the disease can be cured by following Triorigin food consciousness. This I will be proving in my next lecture. So guys, thank you so much. I will see you in my next lecture, part number 3, the Smile Triorigin food consciousness. This was about the discovery of Smile Triorigin food consciousness, how it came into existence. Thank you guys. See you in the next meeting. Thank you.